there, and welcome back to Building the Boys. It's time for our weekly catch-up. So what have we had? So, we had the Batmobile tumbler this week. It's a frustrating one, the tumbler. That's where I am at this point with it. Let me grab what we've built. It's frustrating because I think all of us want to get into the meat of the build, and we're just not there yet, and it seems like it's taken a while. That said, we've got a cockpit, right? So the cockpit's, we've got some heft now. That's what we've got. But the chairs, man, it was 8 issues to build the chairs, and I'm hoping that now we're out of chair territory. I was hoping now we're out of chair territory. We're going to be building something a little bit more interesting in the next ones, but I don't know, man. We've seen what we're building the next one, and it's a ring with ball bearings in it, which is weird because I've built one of these before, and I built it for the stand of the Iron Man. Worked like a lazy Susan, so you could rotate the premium stand. So what's that for? No idea. Now, the thing with the what comes next in the magazines is you never know how big these things are. So you can see what comes next. It could be this big. It could be this big. I don't know. But I don't know what it's for. I cannot for the life of me figure out what it's for. I'm sure. And I'm hoping they tell us. I'm hoping when we build this thing, they'll go, just put it away. Because that'll drive me mad. If it's like 2 years before we find out what it's for, that'll drive me insane. The only thing I can think of is there is a piece underneath here. There's this piece here. Now, I'm looking at it thinking that's where a speaker goes. Because typically, that's where speakers go. But it could be. That thing could be that big and it could go in there. What for? Don't know. Or it could be that there's that much weight to this vehicle. It's going to be a heavy vehicle. Those arms at the front, I've had concerns about them supporting all the weight of the vehicle, those things not cracking or snapping. Maybe there is a stand underneath this thing and you can rotate it. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea what that thing's for. Bloody weird. But we'll find out, I'm sure. The other thing we got with the Batmobile this week is we got our last free gift from Hachette. And it's the tumbler. And it's this. Now, this was advertised as die-cast. It ain't. It's plastic. This is a plastic model. That's what that is. The front wheels don't rotate. The back wheels are all on the same axle. Some of these bits are bent. This thing sucks, right? Now, this was supposed to come in a display case, but some error, there's no display case. They'll send us the display case in the next pack, and we've got to screw this thing in ourselves. This thing is terrible, right? This is one of the worst free gifts I've ever had. I say one of the worst because the worst free gift I've ever had through one of these subscriptions actually came with the first pack of the Batmobile Tumbler, and it was this keyring. This thing is garbage, right? It feels like plastic, but it's not. It's got to be the cheapest kind of... This thing sucks. Now, bizarrely, if you signed up to the trial of this, they sent you this keyring. Look at that. So this is a big metal Batarang-style bottle opener keyring. Really nice. Compared to that, this thing sucks, right? So we've had this. That sucked. We've had this plastic Batmobile. That sucks. And we got this... Best way to describe it, Easter egg mug. So I'm declaring the Hachette free gifts for the Batmobile Tumbler the worst free gifts that have been given with any part work, unless you can name another. Because these gifts are terrible. Now, I've had bad free gifts. I'm not bothered by free gifts. In fact, free gifts, if it was something they did away with, if they would like to reduce costs for doing with free gifts, fine, I don't care, because I don't think any of us buy that. Is anyone lured in by the free gifts? I don't think they are. I don't think I've ever been on the fence about a part work and gone, oh, but I really want that tin sign that I could get for $5 somewhere. It's a nice thing. I mean, sometimes when some of these... I've had some nice ones. I've had some great free gifts. I mean, I had the... Be buggered if I know where it is. I've had the Iron Man speaker. It was really nice. That was really good. I've had bits and pieces, power banks, and... some of the prints have been nice. Some of the tin posters have been nice. None of them have ever made me buy a part work. I've never listened and gone, oh, I'm definitely getting a part work for that. It doesn't do it. They're not of that. I'd prefer if rather than 4 gifts of this style, 1 gift of a decent, The gifts with the Infinity Gauntlet are quite good. I mean, we just got like a bunch of gauntlets. So I'm getting like a gift. I'm getting the Nano Gauntlet. I'm getting a smaller version of the gauntlet. You get a t-shirt, posters, mug, baseball cap. it's all, and the kid's gonna love all that, but this thing sucks, man. This thing is a lot of people around. I've yet to see one person go, wow, this rig is really good. This is terrible. So that's what we had. Coming up, I am very happy to say I had shipping notifications today that the final pack of Ecto1 has shipped. So Ecto1's going to finish, man, and I couldn't be happier. So in about 2 weeks' time, we will have the very final Ecto1, and I can't wait. I'm just smiling thinking about that, because we should have finished this time last year. We should have finished. So this thing's got a year past due. We started this, as I said, in January 2020. We'll be 9 months into 2023 by the time we finish this. This is one of the longest builds I've ever done. It probably is the longest. It is the longest build I've ever done, which is ridiculous. But we finally get to finish it, and I can't wait for that. It's the last 2 parts, so we only got charged like 20 quid for this one because there's just 2 parts left. But I can't wait for that to turn up, man. I can't wait to finish it. I just can't, because it's done. It's been a long time coming, and God bless Fanhome for doing that for us. What else has shipped? So everything has shipped. Titanic has shipped, so that won't be here until... Right, so what's coming up? So next week, Infinity Gauntlet. So we'll have the Infinity Gauntlet next week. Week after that, we will have Ecto1 and Titanic. The week after that, we will have the Disney Doll's House. And then we'll have a quiet week, and then we're back to the Batmobile Tumbler. So it goes on a nice kind of loop. Now, with Ecto1 coming to an end, that leaves up a free spot in my calendar. So what am I going to replace it with? Well, I've already told you. I'm going to hold out for the Lancaster Bomber, which should be coming at kind of the end of December from Hachette, hopefully. And that's what I'm going to fill that spot with. I have got 3 ending next year. So next year, we'll see, even though we've barely started it, but next year, Infinity Gauntlet will come to an end. The main build of the Disney Doll's House comes to an end. And the Titanic will come to an end next October, leaving me 3 spaces to fill with models. And what a time to be a part world modeler, because there are so many great models available, and a lot of them rumoured to be coming this way. There is one launching, but it's not my scoop, so I'm not going to break it. Somebody shared some information with me, and I'm not going to... It's for them to tell you, not for me. But keep your eyes on the socials over the next day or so, and something good should be launching, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. We'll let the person who told me tell you. I think that's fair. But keep your eyes out. There's another one coming. You can probably work out what it is. But there's a lot. So, I mean, all of the companies are now sort of laying out their stalls, because we are getting to that point where, believe it or not, before you know it, it's going to be Christmas. I mean, it's September next week. And December is kind of when all of the historically when all the artwork start being released. So I've no doubt Hachette are going to drop a bunch in December. I've no doubt you'll see more from Agora before the year's out, and you'll definitely see more from Fanhome before the year's out. So it leaves me, 3 spots to plan on filling, and I don't know what to do. So everything I want to do is I want to do the new stuff, but there are ones that I just never did that I'd like to revisit. Like, I never built the DeLorean, and now it's with Fanhome, and it means I could do the DeLorean from start to finish. I might build the DeLorean, because I think I should own one. I think it's one of those builds that I think I should just have. I hear mixed reviews of the DeLorean, but I don't care. It's the DeLorean, man. So DeLorean, possibly. I've no interest in... Well, let's say I've no interest. I would like to build the Millennium Falcon. But not enough that it would take up one of those spots when there's just so much cool stuff coming. But we'll see. I'm not doing the Batman. The one thing I can tell you, I've been asked a bunch of times if I'm building Batman. No, I'm not building Batman. I'm not interested. I'm not a huge fan of the big figures. They're not for me. It's nice enough. I've seen them building it in France, and it looks quite good, but it's not for me. In other modelling news, Roker have a line of rubber band guns. Now, I own... Have I got any of them I can show you? I own 2 of them, of the 3. So I'm hoping I have one to hand. The kids are always playing with these things, but I have got one that I can show you. So I own the shotgun. So I own the rubber band shotgun, and this thing is badass. Honestly, it's so cool. So you can load this thing up, and you can bam, 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 and you can pump fire rubber bands. It's fantastic. I've also got the revolver. So I've got the shotgun and I own the revolver. They did recently do a Kalashnikov, so you could get an assault rifle. which is, it is what it is. But they have just released a teaser of the one that comes next, and I am sold. I'm like, I have to own this. It's amazing. It's this one. So that is the Thompson submachine gun, or to use the name we all know it by, the Tommy gun. Now, what I love about the Tommy gun is it is of the era. There are certain guns we can go, no, it's of that era. And the Tommy gun is one. We know the decade the Tommy gun was around. So we look at the 1920s, 1930s, Tommy gun, gangsters. I don't know if they actually did, right? Or this is some sort of Hollywood folklore. Did gangsters actually use Tommy guns, or is this something that just appeared in movies? Let me know if you know, because I've never researched this. But was that actually the gangster's weapon of choice, or did that just end up in a bunch of movies? But the Tommy gun, there's just something iconic about that big barrel that goes underneath and the handles and it's of its era. So you know exactly what era the Tommy gun comes from. You know who it's associated with. It's kind of like six shooters. Six shooters, you know, cowboys. Bam, that's where that's from. So you draw a cowboy, he's going to have a six shooter. You draw a gangster, he's going to be carrying one of those, or he's going to be carrying a violin case with one of those in it. And it's just iconic. The amazing thing about that one is not only is it a rapid fire rubber band gun, because it will ba 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 ba, and the bands keep going, but they've also put something in it so you can load shells into the drum. So as you fire and the rubber bands are going, shells come flying out the side of it. And I just fell in love when I saw that. I'm like, I am 100% owning that. I don't care what that costs. I want that Tommy gun. I'm having that Tommy gun. And then I'm going to end up with a revolver, the shotgun, and the Tommy gun, which means I'm probably going to have to get the Kalashnikov at some point to complete the set. And I'm going to have a very strange gun rack of wooden guns on the wall. But I love that Tommy gun. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The other thing Roker have been teasing us with recent as well, which I'm kind of hoping is coming. They did the funfair rides, which I've shown and built on the channels. They did the swings, they did the parachutes, they did the teacups. And there was a fourth one in that set. There was a drop tower. And it was bloody amazing. But they said it was too complicated. So when they sort of the product, so it says too complicated, we can't release it. And we're like, I'd like the challenge, please. Let me decide if it's too complicated or not. They said it was too complicated and they never released it. But it was amazing because when I first saw it, I thought it was just going to go up and down like that. And it doesn't. It works exactly as a drop tower works. So you have the cradle at the bottom and the restraints go down. And then a hand comes down, picks the drop tower up, lifts it up, and then lets it go. And it's bloody impressive. And I'm like, I really want that. So they've been showing it in ads recently, which I'm hoping is them going, we heard you, it's coming. Because it's become the unicorn. That's what it is. It's now the unicorn amongst Roker fans and Robot Time fans. It's our unicorn. But like, we know it exists. We've just never seen one. it's that. So we kind of want it. So I'm hoping it does because it's a beautiful thing. I'd love to show you a video of it. I ain't got one because no one's got a video of it. But there was one that did exist. There was a video that was doing around for a while. And then it vanished like a unicorn. So that's what's going on there. We have been looking. No, I'm not going to tell you. I was going to tell you something. I'm not going to tell you. We've done Lego minifigs this week as well. So we did the Marvel minifigs, and we've appealed for the two that we're missing. So we're missing of the Marvel collectible minifigs. We're missing Kate Bishop, and we're missing Moon Knight. And we said if you've got them, we'll swap them. I then found out we're not supposed to have these minifigures yet. They're not supposed to come out until the 1st of September. So ain't no one got any swaps for us unless you got them the same way we did. But these things are released on the 1st of September. So I apologise if you saw the video. I'm like, I'll go get some and then couldn't find them in the shops. That's why. They're not supposed to be out until next week. But if you do end up with a swap of Kate Bishop or Moon Knight, we would like it. And we have a Goliath and a Storm to swap. So if you do end up with swaps, we'll swap with you. The evil people at Lego have decided to put these things in boxes now rather than bags. So there's no more squeezing the bag to find your figure. They're in boxes. So expect duplicates. But let's help each other out. Let's not play into the eBay seller's hands. Let's help each other out to complete our collections. Similar to Lego news, you might have seen the build that I did on the channel of the Funhole farm truck. It's a beautiful thing. It lights up. It's gorgeous, gorgeous truck. Well, I've got another one coming from them, and it looks stunning, man. I mean, whether or not it is, I don't know. And again, I'll be honest with what I think of it, but it looks pretty, and I'm quite excited about it. So that should be coming up on the channel about a week or so's time. But we've been doing a lot, and I'm tired at the moment. We had Oscar's birthday over the weekend, and naively, I said, "Hey, why you have a party here? Why you have a party here? You know, a party in the backyard. We got a nice big garden. So you know, party in the garden. I'll come out and I'll do a barbecue for you, and then we'll leave you to it, and you and your mates can. We don't want to cramp your style." Yeah, I didn't think that through. So I got an army of teenagers in my backyard. What was remarkable was I cooked enough food to, I swear to God, cater to 100 people. There was so much of it. I mean, we're talking like kilos and kilos and kilos and pounds and pounds and pounds of meat. They went through it like locusts, man. I put this stuff down. Me and my wife were like, we should probably nip out and get a hot dog or a burger or something. No, it was gone. Honestly, they were like a swarm, just and it was gone. Which is remarkable because all these kids are like wafer thin, but they just absolutely just mowed through this food. I'm like, wow. So yeah, it was a long weekend, a really long weekend, but yeah, it is what it is. It was that everyone had a good time. We have got more coming up on the channel, so it will be Gauntlet next week, possibly Titanic by the weekend. I've got a feeling Titanic might be here next weekend. And in Titanic, we're just building Hull. We're just building 4 parts of Hull. So all 4 of them. It's great because everyone wants Hull, but bad at the same time because I know, well, that's a 5-minute build. It just is. It's like 2 screws, done. But it's necessary. It's completely necessary. Someone asked me if I'm going to build another ship. I don't know. Never say never. There aren't any I want. I mean, that's the problem. So I don't have any particular affection for modern ships. I mean, Titanic is about as modern as I get. I've no interest in doing warships at all. Yeah, I don't want to do an aircraft carrier or anything like that. I like them, but it's not something I want to do. The only ship that I really want to do, and I really wish I had, was Hachette did the Black Pearl years ago. I mean, it's got to be nearly 10 years ago now. They did the Black Pearl, and I wish I'd bought it. And then naively, I stumbled across somebody who was selling the complete collection. So it was every issue of the Black Pearl, and they wanted like nothing for it. And I didn't buy it. And I'm thinking, oh, you dick, I didn't think that through. Should have got it. But I didn't. So I kind of regret not doing the Black Pearl because I've seen a finished one. It's beautiful. So I wish I'd built the Black Pearl. I mean, I've shown the one that's on the channel. You can see a bit on the windowsill over there. I've got the Flying Dutchman over there, which is a cubic foam model. It's like foam board. It's lovely. It looks really nice. And you can't even get the Black Pearl of that anymore, right? So they did the Black Pearl, they did the Flying Dutchman, and they did the Queen Anne's Revenge, which is Blackbeard's ship. You can still get Queen Anne's Revenge, and you can still get the Dutchman, but you can't get the Black Pearl. I'm like, what's a man got to do to get a Black Pearl? So it's it's a tough one, but I would genuinely like to build the Black Pearl. If that comes back at any point, I'd be all over it. But ship wise, no, sorry to disappoint you. There's no ship that really. No, it's not there for me. It just isn't. There are people that want to build the Cutty Sark, and there are people that want to build. It's just not. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I'm very pop culture. That's my thing. And Titanic, even though it is clearly historical, it is very much in our lexicon when it comes to pop culture as well. So it's what the appeal of it is. It's a ship that transcends the ship. I think if you talk to people that are into Titanic, you can find people that are just into the vessel. So all they're interested in is the engines and the mechanics of the vessel. Then you've got other people that are just interested in the human aspect of the Titanic. Then you've got people that are just interested in the actual disaster, what happened and how it happened. So it appeals to a very broad spectrum of fan. I'm interested in all of it. I am interested in the mechanics of how it works. I love the human aspect of the Titanic, which is why if you watch our Titanic videos, I do the Titanic stories at the end, because the amount of interesting people on board that ship, and you got to see the best and sadly the worst of humanity in one night, in what must have been absolutely terrifying, is fascinating to me. It really is. I've had someone say morbid. I don't think it's morbid at all. I think remembering these people and telling people about their lives and who they were is important. That's what keeps us alive. That's what keeps that's what makes us live forever. I mean, you're not dead until people stop talking about you, your memory remains, your ghost lives on. It's when people forget about you that you disappear. So I think it's wildly important to remember who these people were, the survivors and the victims of that night. Because I don't think we say survivors and victims. I think everybody on board was a victim. Even if you survived, it left its mark on you. There were very few people that were healthy and well adjusted after that night. So that's why I think it's important. I genuinely do. What have we been watching? We have been watching Squid Game, amazingly. We've gone back and watched Squid Game because the kid had never seen it and he's old enough to deal with it now. So we're going back through Squid Game. If you've seen Squid Game on Netflix, but you watched it dubbed, shame on you. Don't watch dubbed. Don't watch anything dubbed. Never watch a dubbed film. Watch it in its mother language and subtitles. That's how you watch it, because you lose a lot in the dubbing. Now, what I'm talking about is, if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you won't. If you've seen the first episode where they play red light, green light, if you've watched it dubbed, you watch that robot say red light, green light, and then turn around. And it almost seems as if this is an unwinnable game, because there's no time into it. So you don't know when it's going to say green light. You know when it's going to say red light and turn around. You don't know. Whereas if you watch it in the original language, that doll actually sings a song. It doesn't just say red light, green light. It sings a song. And the song has got a length to it. And when it gets to the end of the song, then it turns round. So you know everyone that's running, this is how much time you've got. So you need to get to this point and stop before that thing rotates its head. And it starts singing it faster, it sings it slower, and it keeps mixing up. And that scene is so much more tense with the original dialogue than it is dubbed. So do yourself a favour. If you've seen it, go back and watch that first episode, but watch it subtitled. Watch that scene subtitled, not dubbed, and you will see what I'm talking about. That is how much you miss. So you miss tension, you miss the way the lines should have been delivered, because they do change. The dialogue doesn't match. When you watch it dubbed versus subtitled, they change the dialogue to fit the movement of the mouth. So you start losing more and more and more. Never watch anything dubbed. Watch it subtitled, seriously. I know I don't like reading. Yeah, well, come on. It's not that you're not reading tons. You're reading lines of dialogue. But yeah, so trust me. We watched a lot, actually. So we watched that. We've been watching Cruel Summer as well. If you've never seen Cruel Summer, it's on Amazon Prime. We watched season 1 of Cruel Summer again. I'd already seen it, but it's a self-contained show. So season 1 is its own story. It's one story and that's it. And it's about a girl that goes missing. And the story is told in 3 time periods. So it's told in 1994, 5 and 6, I believe, or 93, 4 and 5. 93, 4 and 5. That's when it's told. So it jumps backwards and forwards and you piece together exactly what happened. It's a great show. Season 2 has just been released. So we've just started with that one. This revolves around a murder. We enjoyed it. But film-wise, what we watched, and I really enjoyed it because I missed it at the cinema, was we watched Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it, surprisingly so, because I think it's a good family film. It's not, if you're a hardcore Dungeons & Dragons fan, you probably didn't like it. But as a family movie, I think it's fantastic. I thought it was really good. The action was good. The effects were good. The acting was good. And there is a darling cameo in it. There is a really nice cameo. So at the end of the movie, spoilers if you haven't seen it. I'm not spoiling any story aspects, but this part I definitely am. They have to sort of run the gauntlets. They have to go through what's essentially the games, like a dungeon, where they have to run through and collect items. So when our gang are sort of released in there, you see other teams that go at the same time. And one of the teams is the Dungeons and Dragons kids from the TV show. So you get Bobby and all of them are there, right? It's so cool. And I was like, oh my God, there's Presto, there's Eric, and it's amazing. And you see them, and then later on you see them all in a cage together. And I'm like, oh my God. And it just pays fantastic lip service to that. And it's remarkable. I loved the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon growing up. If you haven't seen it, it was this one. Now, just like everything in the 80s, there was a harsh darkness to it. It never got a final episode. So if you've never seen it, what it was about was a group of kids in the 80s got on a funfair ride, a Dungeons and Dragons ride, then all of a sudden things speeds up, a portal opens, and they get transported to the land of Dungeons and Dragons. And they're just desperately trying to get home, and they never get home. Well, because there was no episode, those kids never got home. It's like, wow, that's dark. So yeah, there'd be a podcast about them now, I'm sure. You know, the mystery of the Carnival Kids. But yeah, they never got home. There was no final episode. Those kids never got home. That's why that's why Generation X grew up as messed up as we did. That was seen as entertainment. These poor parents worried sick, never know what happened to their kids, and they're somewhere fighting dragons. But that's what happened. We got loads more coming up on the channel. We've got Row Life builds, Roker builds. We have more of the part works coming up. We've got more Lego for you as well. So we've got a very big Spider-Man No Way Home Lego set that Oscar got for his birthday. We're going to show you. I say very big. It cost me a lot. It ain't huge. Cost a lot though. We will have FO Fun Hole models coming up on the channel as well. We've got some more talks and some other bits and pieces. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps our channel massively, and we really appreciate you having around. If you've got any pictures, videos, or anything you'd like to send us that we can share, please do. You can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. We love hearing from you. You're never bothering us. Yeah, it'd be good. We are very close to having enough stuff now to release a your work video. So that's what we want to do. We want to put a video out showing your work, your collections, not just work, not just part works, anything, right? So if you've got a hobby you want to share with us, let's see it. If you've got a collection that this is what I collect, this is what I'm about, let's see it. We want to know, and people want to see it as well. We love seeing other people's collections because it gives us ideas. We go, oh yeah, man, let's look at that display. That's awesome. I've seen some great displays. I've seen some fantastic Jaws displays. I've seen some great James Bond displays. Share them, and we'll show the whole world yours, man. And you'll be amazed. You'll get a lot of positive comments about it. You really will, because some of these things I've seen are stunning. They're really nice, and we love having them. So send them in if you want to share with us, and it'll be up on the channel. If you do send us a video or a photo, please say happy to use. Then that way I know we can use it on the channel. And we're not, you know, we're not upsetting you. If you just want to show me, but you don't want it on the channel, you can do that as well. I'd love to see it, and I'll talk to you about your collection. I would love to hear from you. That's all from me in a world where you can be anything at all. Just be nice, and we'll be back very, very soon for more from Building with the Boys. I will see you then.